ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। So today we will be starting the 4th chapter, Jnana Yoga. So in the first chapter we saw Arjuna's problems which were told to Bhagavan Krishna, which were almost the same as our problems. In the second chapter, Bhagavan Krishna elaborately explained the solution for the problems which Arjuna had asked in the first chapter. And Bhagavan Krishna told the only solution for the problems is self-knowledge. More we know about our life, we can live our life happily. More we know about ourselves, about the body, mind and intellect, we can lead a better life. And the purpose of life is Atma Sakshatkara. This is what Bhagavan told in the second chapter. And in the third chapter, Bhagavan Krishna says about the Karma Yoga, which is the first and foremost thing for a sadhaka to begin with. And it is a very important thing that every one of us have to do. Karma Yoga is the first step towards the moksha. That is what Bhagavan Krishna had told. And now in the 4th chapter, he continues explaining about the Jnana. See, it is like this, when somebody is very close to us, without they asking the questions, we start answering or we start elaborating about certain things which is good for that person. Here, Bhagavan Krishna is also doing the same thing. At least in the 3rd chapter, Arjuna had asked some question, but here he has not asked any question, but Krishna himself is explaining things more elaborately. So now we will see the 4th chapter, and after each sloka, sir, you will be reading the meaning in English, and then we will discuss about that in detail. अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः ज्ञानयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवानमव्ययम् विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्।
The Blessed Lord said, I taught this imperishable yoga to Vivaswan. Vivaswan taught it to Manu. Manu taught it to Ikshvaku.
Yes. So Bhagavan here says, this yoga, which yoga is this? Karma yoga. Karma yoga, earlier I had explained it to Ikshvaku. From so many years I have been telling this. That is, for the sun god I have told. That means he is telling about the parampara of the Guru Shishya parampara. This Karma Yoga did not start one fine day somewhere in the middle like that. No. It was from the beginning, from the day the sun started shining here. So, Bhagavan Krishna says, I had told this to Surya Bhagavan, and then Surya Bhagavan told this to Manu, and Manu told this to Ikshvaku. That means here he is telling the Vamsha of Rama, Sri Rama. Sri Rama was born in the Surya Vamsha and Krishna was in the Yadava Vamsha. So he told, when sun god was there, I had told this knowledge about Karma Yoga. See, sun even today is doing Karma Yoga only. It gives light without expecting anything from anybody. That is how this knowledge has flown. When I was talking to you about the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, I had told one thing. See, all these things began long ago. And this spirituality or the dharma started deteriorating. See, there was a golden age when everything was beautiful. All of them followed this dharma. After that came Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara, and then Kali Yuga. So when Rama Avatara came, this dharma had deteriorated to certain extent, a little. And in the Krishna Avatara, it deteriorated further. And in Kali Yuga, it is totally, you know how much it has deteriorated. So in Rama Avatara, that is Treta Yuga, when Ramayana was there was one Kaikeyi, one Ravana, like that. And in Dwapara Yuga, when Krishna was born, that, you know, it multiplied to hundreds and hundreds of people who were adharmis, who were not following the dharma at all. And then Kali Yuga started, where the name of dharma is almost gone. So here Bhagavan Krishna is telling, I had told it to Surya Bhagavan, and then Surya Bhagavan told it to Manu, and Manu told it to Ikshvaku. That is how the parampara was coming, but now I am telling this to you. So how this parampara broke, Bhagavan continues, Evam parampara praptam Emam rajashayo viduhu Sakale neha mahata Yogo nashtaf parantapa.
This knowledge, handed down thus in regular succession, the royal sages knew. The yoga, by long lapse of time, has been lost here. O Parantapa.
See, what's telling? Like this, from parampara, from so many generations, this has come. But what happened? Though it has come like this, somewhere somebody missed it. The Raja Rishis, like Janaka Maharaja and all, they found out this and they were following this. And after a long time, what happened? After a long time, what happened? People just forgot about this dharma and they really did not celebrate this. After a long time, just as I told you, it was in the golden age, then came the Treta Yuga, then the Dwapar Yuga, and then the Kali Yuga. This dharma started deteriorating. And here Bhagavan Krishna is telling even the Karma Yoga started deteriorating. Continuing. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hyetaduttamam.
The same ancient yoga has been today taught to you by me. For you are my devotee and my friend. This is a supreme secret.
Yes. Why is Krishna telling this to Arjuna? Because he is telling Bhagavan, Arjuna, you are my favorite person. You are my bhakta. You are my bhakta and you are my friend. That is the reason I am telling this to you. And this is the most secret thing that I am revealing it to you. See, it so happens that even though if we have close friends, we never try to wait for them to ask questions. We directly get into that and start telling, no, this is good, you please do this. Like this, Krishna and Arjuna were also very close friends, and they started telling, Krishna started telling this to Arjuna, telling that you are my bhakta and you are my great friend. That is why I am telling this Karma Yoga again to you and this Jnana Yoga to you. So now Arjuna's question is, beautiful thing, see. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katametadvijaniyam tvamadau proktavaniti.
Arjuna said, later was your birth, and the prior was the birth of Vivaswan, that is sun. How am I to understand that you taught me yoga in the beginning?
See, Arjuna and Krishna have played together. It is said that Krishna was little older than Arjuna or something. Few years difference. But now Krishna is telling, see, I had told this to sun. That means I was born long, long ago. And here Arjuna's question is, see, we both have played together and now you are telling that you have told this to sun god. But Surya, sun was born long, long ago. In that case, you are born with me now. How could you teach sun god? Which sun god was there long, long ago, and how is it possible that you can say that you have told sun god about all these things? So here we have to learn about this avatara. See, God takes birth. We know about avatars, the Dashavataras, but they say there are even more avatars which we don't know. But mainly we know about the Dashavatara, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narahari, Vamana, Bhargava, Ram. We know that. Matsya. Then Buddha, Krishna, Kalki. So these avatars, why God has taken? He has some work and he comes to this Manushya Loka with his own will. See, these avatars are always taken with the will of the God to do some good thing. But when we take birth, it is not according to our will or wish. We take birth according to our desires, our karmas, whatever we have done, and we are forced to take birth and we are pushed to this human birth or any birth on this earth. But God is not like that. When He comes on this earth, it is His avatara. He comes by His own will. He desires to take birth here and he comes here. This he doesn't know. Arjuna doesn't know. That's why Arjuna is asking, see, you are telling that you have told all these yogas to Bhagavan, Surya and all, but you are born with me. How is that? How is that? How can that happen? How do I know that you have really told Sun God? So Bhagavan answers, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tava charjuna Tanyaham veda sarvani Natvam vetha parantapa.
The Blessed Lord said, many births of mine have passed as well as yours, O Arjuna. I know them all, but by you know them not.
Yes. Bhagavan Krishna says, yes, so many births have happened to you and me. But I know all the births of yours, but you don't know my birth. See, an Avatara Purusha, Bhagavan, he had taken many avatars in the previous births also, and he knows the birth of Arjuna. In previous birth what he was, before that what he was, before that what he was, with his godly powers. But here Arjuna doesn't know that. It is like, usually the example is told, there is a principal in the college and so many students join and then pass out of the college. So the principal there will be knowing all the children who have come. But the first year student, when he passes out of the college, will not be knowing who is there in the previous batch. It is like that. So here Bhagavan Krishna, he has taken the avatara here, and so he says, I know your births, but you don't know my births. Continuing. Ajopi sannauvyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swamadishtaya sambhavamyatma mayaya.
Though I am unborn and am imperishable nature, and though I am the Lord of all beings, yet ruling over my own nature, I take birth by my own Maya.
Yes. Bhagavan takes birth by his own Maya. Actually, there is no life and death for God, Bhagavan. He is not a person who gets destroyed. There is no Nasha. And God takes the birth holding all the Prakriti in his hand. That means holding Prakriti in his hand means he wishes to take certain form. Like, in one of the avatara he becomes a Matsya. In another avatara he becomes a Kurma. Then he becomes a Varaha avatari. And then Rama avatara. So whichever avatara he wants, he decides, he comes in that form. That is avatara. That is the difference between birth of God, avatara, and birth of a human being. See, we cannot take the birth the way we wish. We have no choice. We will be born according to our desires and karma. Whereas this avatara comes out only with the desire of the God. He decides in what way, what form I have to come out, and that is how he would have come out. He comes out through his Maya. So Bhagavan is telling, I come to this, I take birth with my wishes, my desire, and with my own Maya having in control all the Prakriti. Everything I take in my control and I take birth here, unlike human beings. So, but still, I am not a person who will be born again and again for the reason of karma. Why do I take birth? Bhagavan Krishna says. Why such Avatara Purushas come out. Here is the reason. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyuttanamadharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham.
Whenever there is a decay of righteousness, O Bharata, and a rise of unrighteousness, then I manifest myself.
Yes. Why does God take birth? Why is it? Why should He come here? He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya. When dharma starts deteriorating, I take birth. When the dharma is not protected, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata. That means whenever there is deterioration in the dharma, again and again I take birth to show that dharma has to be followed. Or else he has no reason to take birth at all. This is, about many of the shlokas which are very famous in the Bhagavad Gita. These two shlokas are very famous, 7th and 8th shloka. If somebody says, or somebody asks, can you just chant one or two shlokas from Bhagavad Gita? Usually these two shlokas will be chanted. So even if you can try to memorize, you can try and do this. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. When there is fall in the dharma, when there is deterioration in dharma, I take birth. Why do I take birth? He says in the next shloka, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
For the protection of the good, for the destruction of the wicked, and for the establishment of righteousness, I am born in every age.
Yes. See how beautifully. Why should Bhagavan be born again and again? He gives the reason. I'll be born again and again for the reason to protect the good people. Whatever good is there, I have to protect it. And then there is a sentence here, to destroy the bad, ill things in this world, I take birth again and again. See, it so happens from the ages we have seen, good people most of the time will not be able to take care of themselves. In many stories, many Puranas you see, good people appear to be weak. I don't know why. Many of them, when children ask, they say, see, Ravana was so strong, why was Rama so weak, they say. The good people appear to be really weak. And here, this shloka also says, yes, I come here to protect good and good people from the bad, and I come here to destroy the bad things. Pavitranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. All the bad deeds I have to come and destroy. So, all the good people have the protection of God. It is always God who protects all of us. So, these two shlokas are very important in this Bhagavad Gita and in this chapter, 6th chapter. So, again and again, whenever there is a deterioration of the dharma and the good people cannot protect themselves, God comes to their help. That is what is told in these two shlokas. We will just end there and then continue the rest in the next class. Hari Om.